This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome to the Elevate Construction Podcast, where we help people one by one. My name is Jason Schroeder, and today's podcast is about how to drive a bus. No, but seriously, the concept is to focus first on who and then what. This is Thursday, the Shorter Podcast, and today's is directed towards project managers and project engineers who are aspiring to be a project manager. So let me give you a quote. First who, then what? And I'll explain this quote as we go down through this brief podcast, but really it means that we need to focus on who we have on our teams, then what we're going to do on our team. So in this book, Good to Great, Jim Collins creates a memorable metaphor by comparing a business to a bus and the leader as the bus driver, and emphasizes that it's crucial to ask first who, then what. So if you're the bus driver, the bus, your company, is basically at a standstill until you figure out how you're going to get it going. You have to decide where you're going, how you're going to get there, and who's going to go with you. And most people assume that great bus drivers immediately start the journey, or they decide, hey, this is where I'm going. And then they announce, hey, this is where I'm going. And then they say, who wants to go with me? But really, we need to focus when we're doing first who, then what. We need to say, hey, who's going with me? And then let's all focus on where we're going to head. So I really like that analogy because if you're on a city transport system, if you're on a city bus system, then you really do. You have predetermined locations of where you're going to go. And you say, hey, who's going to go with us? But if you're going on a charter bus, or if you are a charter bus or charter service, then you say, who's coming right now and where do you guys want to go? And they pay you. So great companies do the latter. They say first who, then what, who's on the bus, and then where we're going to get going. So I love that. And these companies, they stick with that discipline. First the people, then the direction, and no matter how dire the circumstances, no matter how critical the circumstance, no matter how pressed for time you are, no matter how urgent the project is. So here's the principle, and I'll go through them one by one, and you can read this in Jim Collins' book, Good to Great. I love Jim Collins' work. He has a number of books, Great by Choice, Built to Last. Absolutely would recommend this for anybody who owns a business, any of the managers out there who really want to lead great teams. So principle number one, get the right people on the bus. Leaders must be rigorous in the selection process for getting people on the bus, which is basically hiring and investing the time with new employees, training, making sure that when you do hire somebody, there's a rigorous interview process, that there's an evaluation, there are references, there's a background check, maybe some testing like they do with Southwest Airlines where they give you a real life problem right there in the moment. You know, I remember being hired in a very dynamic culture a while back in a really, really great progressive company. And I remember it took 3 or 4 round the room or round robin interview settings for them to eventually hire me. And it was a great vetting process so that they could make sure that they got the right people. And so if you don't have a good feeling about somebody, whether or not they're a fit, whether or not they should be on the bus, or if you're not sure, then it's probably just better to not bring that person on the bus. Let that seat go unfilled. You know, take on extra work as needed until you found the right person, because a lot of times the wrong person can hurt you worse than having a vacant spot. And make sure that your company, your organization, your team, your group has the critical seats filled first. And so make sure that you get the right people on the bus, starting number one priority. Make sure you focus on who. Principle number 2, get the right people in the right seats. So have 100% of the key seats on the bus filled with the right people, meaning the crucial positions on your team, the crucial positions in the leadership team, the crucial people in your company, on your crew, whatever that is, whatever that looks like. So for a project manager, that looks like the people on your project team. Make sure you have the key seats filled with the right people. And this doesn't mean that you have to have all the seats 100% with the right people, but you do have to have 100% of the key seats, meaning the critical positions filled. project manager, superintendent, senior project engineer. Maybe there's a quality role. Maybe there's a pre-construction manager role. You have to have those key seats filled with the right people. And, like, let me give you one other example. Maybe concrete superintendent. Maybe the superstructure is super critical on your project. You have to fill that with the right person 100%. Those are key seats. And if you think there might be a wrong person on the project, you need to first give that person the benefit of the doubt and try and put them in the right seat, get them a different position, different role, different circumstances. Whenever possible, give that person a chance to prove themselves, give them a performance improvement plan, coach them, work with them before drawing any conclusions. But if it doesn't work out, principle number 3 is to get the wrong people off the bus. And I cannot stress this enough. This is super important. If you don't listen to anything I've ever said on any of these podcasts or on this podcast specifically, listen to this. You have to get the wrong people off of the bus. Once you know you need to make a people change, be rigorous in the decision, but not ruthless in the implementation, meaning help people exit with dignity and grace so that the people that are left have positive feelings about the organization. But I do agree with Gary Vee on this one. You need to make it clear that you made the termination based on performance and that you did it to protect everyone else and to respect that individual. Frame that true context so that they don't think that there's a reduction in force or that their jobs are in jeopardy. Basically, make it to where everyone knows that the organization is based around performance. Okay, so number 4, put who before what. When confronted with any problem or opportunity, shift the decision of what are we going to do from that into who is going to help us to make these decisions, who's going to get us there, who's going to run this process, who's going to run this project, right? Spend a significant portion of your time with the people, in people decisions, mentoring people, really making sure that that's done. The training and the coaching and the development of our people is the number one strategic focus. And it is an intentional decision that we have to make in our companies, on our projects, and within our teams. So once you've filled your bus with the right people, once you have the people in the right seats, it becomes less a question of where you're headed and instead, how far can you go towards the vision of your company, towards your mission statement, towards your vision, towards the purpose of why you are in business. So how does this apply in construction in your projects? Well, sometimes you need to demote or terminate someone. And I really don't know that we have a huge problem of getting people into the right seats. Some organizations do, some teams do. But we have a big problem of not correcting people problems and not spending enough time coaching. Meaning, you might need to demote first and foremost after you've given them the benefit of the doubt and coached them and trained them and mentored them. If there's somebody that doesn't fit on the team or they're cancerous or they don't fit the culture, they're not performing, you need to demote or terminate that person. That can happen in an organization, on the management team, on the leadership team, on a project team. It could be a foreman, it could be a worker. But here's the principle. Anytime I've ever terminated somebody based on performance, I did it in a kind way. I was very straightforward. I did anything that I could to make it a good experience, as good as it possibly can be. And I was always clear about why it was happening so that they could go find a situation where they would be happy. And then I would frame that context when they leave and say, look, they were terminated because of performance issues, because of this and that. And we wanted to protect the rest of the team for you. So we corrected the situation, which is our job as leaders. And that's what happened. And we really did that for the benefit of the team. And this is true, we have to get it through our minds that we are doing this for the benefit of the person. We're not doing that person any favors if we keep them on board, waste their time, keep them in a position where they're going to stagnate when they could go to a different company, especially in a good economy, and go be healthy and happy somewhere else and find a situation where they can be successful and fulfilled. So remember, it's the most respectful thing to do sometimes. Your first focus should be on building people, and you need to spend your time working through people. I still remember that really great general superintendent when I was down in South Texas one time. He told me, hey, I spend every day, all my time working through people, meeting with our people. I don't spend my time doing, I train and I work through people. And that's what great managers need to do and should be be doing. So the current industry condition is that we have cancerous people that stay in their roles where leaders don't deal with the problem. And we have superintendents out there, and I'll say that because I've been a career superintendents that know they have the team between a rock and a hard place because it's hard to find a good superintendent, but they have poor behavior and they're not conforming to the team. They're not accountable, and they're holding the owners of companies, the project team hostage by being a prima donna. We have companies and managers that aren't correcting bad behaviors because they want to be nice and they think it's disrespectful to terminate somebody. We have people that don't basically correct people problems and we waste their time. We don't terminate somebody and we waste their time when they could be going to a different company and really be successful. So the solution to all this is to get the right people on the bus, to get the wrong people off the bus, to get people in the right seats, and to focus on organizational health and the development of your people as your first priority. Stop doing everything. You're a manager. You're not a doer. If you were, your title would be engineer. Leaders, the word leader, the word manager means that you are supposed to lead, you are supposed to manage. So let me go through these principles just really quick in summary. We need to make sure we focus first on who and then what. We need to get the right people on the bus through hiring systems, through evaluations, through performance reviews, through coaching, through training. We really need to spend time developing our people. We need to get the right people in the right seats. Are they in their ideal role? Are they using their strengths? Are they using their ideal talents? Are they best suited for it? Is it the best team dynamic? Do we have the right pairings correct? Do we have people in a situation where they will succeed? Number 3, get the wrong people off the bus. If they're cancerous, if they're not performing, if people are having to cover for them, if there's all of these issues, there's nothing that's going to demoralize the rest of your team more than watching you tolerate bad employees that are affecting them, right? We need to give most of our attention, most of our focus to the people who are performing on our teams. So get the wrong people off the bus. And then always, like I said, I'm going to close with how I began, put who before what. So I hope that this has been helpful. I hope this helps you as a manager. I hope it helps anybody into construction understand that we have to have the right people first, then decide how far we can go and get the people in the right seats always, even if it's hard on the project, and get the wrong people off the bus and out soon, now. Don't waste time, even if it's inconvenient. So in closing, the vision for this is that we protect our top performers and their families and the workers in the field by having a great team, the right people doing the right things. And if you have any questions, if you want further clarification, want to do a podcast interview, or you want to give me feedback in any way, please email me at jason.s@elevateconstructionist.com. or check us out on our website at elevateconstructionist.com. Also, you can reach me on my LinkedIn profile or our company LinkedIn or Facebook page. But the vision for this is that you can have remarkable teams where you love going to work and you love who you work with and you are performing and you have wins all the time. And until we meet again, please look to see if there's any modification that you want to make to your personal leadership style. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.